Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good day to everyone. So, since we do not meet so long, very long time, today I would like to share with you on the unit 5 or chapter 5 in service management. Okay, so hopefully we can have some time to watch, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. So it's not yet YouTube channel. Okay, today we will talk about chapter 5 in civic management. Okay, so the chapter 5 will talk about something that relates to uh, very interesting part in conducting or managing business, which is known actually now related to human or personnel, but actually gives very important impact and very significant to the business when you offer this for your customer. Okay, so this part actually have few objectives. Okay, let me share screen with you in this topic. So later on you can look forward to your book on page 119, okay, until 147. Okay, that is written by Christina. Okay, um, let's go. Don't wait. Alright. Okay. Chapter number 5, we talk about the supporting facility and the process. Okay. So we already know few things when we need to start the especially when we talk about offer services to our customers. Okay. All right. Okay. This chapter will cover few objectives. Okay. The objective is right. First objective, we talk about the impact of Servicescape. What is Servicescape? Actually, is a short form for two words: service landscape. Okay. This kind of term already used in business marketing, and now taught in service management. Okay, on behavior of customer and employee. Why we need Servicescape? Because when dealing with customer, usually people will talk about anything that around them. Okay, when you walk into a restaurant, okay, not only the personnel, not only the waitress entertain you, or not only the provider give you the service, but actually the surrounding, the physical supporting facilities also play their important role. Okay, so second, we identify and discuss environmental dimension of the district. Okay. Third, identify critical design features of the supporting facility. Quite long or lengthy chapter, 20 pages in the book, and draw a streaming flowchart, process flow diagram, and Gantt chart of the process. You already might be familiar with the Gantt chart. However, streaming flowchart might not come to your mind. Process flow is a normal flowchart. Okay, why we need all those things? Because when we design the process, okay, we need to have a full set before we deliver the service. Okay. First of all, when we have a goods compared to services, goods are much more easier to sell, to promote, and also to deliver. However, for service, you need something in we call it some very we call it as a specific term something so you know how many film and when it's done and what happens after that. Okay, so calculate performance metrics such as throughput time and direct labor utilization, bottleneck operation, product layout, we do create new jobs and that will increase the overall safety. And last objective in this sector is use the operation sequence analysis to determine the specification of department and process layout and okay, this is the objective that we have in this chapter. Let's go through one by one. Okay. All right. The environmental psychology orientation. Okay. When we talk about this, we allow people and take people to go through some experience and eventually every single thing that has around them may affect how they experience of the overall services. Okay, so you need to have some cues to make sure your visitor have good impression. Okay, I have experienced one incident in one of the service center. I don't want to mention, but actually it's locally provided and also it involves local companies. Um, yeah, the first impression was good, and later on the experience also turned to bad experience for us. Okay, and then when we talk about something that's around us, okay, we need to have skill formulation. Okay, because if you don't have anything that can give you something good to your customers, but that's just and also it may affect how much maybe that we will earn from them. And then the entrance algorithm allow visitors to gain a key allocation and observe others more behavior. Okay, first what you call it as a fun, and that's also if give something good or bad. Orientation, age and timing, such as you are here, name, next video, event. Okay, because if when you enter, for example, a barber shop, okay, if you don't have the idea how the barber shop should be quite strange for you, and you may not have something that you happy along the way. That very important to guide and to bring your customer to something that happy and okay. All right, the Servicescape. Okay, I just mentioned to you about the Servicescape. Actually, it's about two things here: the service and also the rent. Okay, so when talk about the Servicescape, the Servicescape designed to make sure everything in order, everything congruent to what you have promised. When we start business, we have a promise to our potential customer. So every single thing that we show to them must be something that in line, yeah. Okay, so you have your we call it firm Either you have sometimes people go for landscape, go for food and beverages. You have customers to visit, for example, beauty center. Okay, all those things, the we call it as the environment, the inanimate features to be uh, show about if this center something show the education process or the output that customer would have after experience. Okay, so it should be designed with animate and feel that is congruent with this. All right, it is important before we start all of this. Okay, concept and also the more important part in marketing also the positioning. Okay, will shape on how we design our outlet or our overall activity. Okay, so you can have the typology of Servicescape. Okay, if you can see screen, show the typology of Servicescape. There are three main or major call it as experience. Okay, either involve only customer or both or only on provider side. Okay, for example, if you go to golf course, okay, the museum, okay, sometimes uh, the complexity of the certificate to be different. So they have tickets here, their left rate and also the complexity to museum something lead you okay, to have more. For example, okay, you walk into the museum, okay, you need something detailed, okay, explaining everything to you. So it should be more information. Okay, if both people or both party involved, both party involved. Okay. For example, resort hotel, okay, in restaurant, Disneyland, airline terminal. Okay, you should have good signage because need to get people know where they are and also what should they do if they walk into that place. Okay. However, sometimes yeah, you don't have time, you don't have so much budget. For example, we have a budget hotel, transportation house, homestay, transportation, yes, very lean information or very lean kind of concept landscape. Okay, so we have you can define either you want to have customer involved fully or you want to work together or you only want your employee. Uh, that, okay, so this is our the topology of Servicescape. All right. Let me start a bit on that. Okay. So for example, in service operation, okay, that's on the customer on or fully involved. Okay. So everything should be something that aids customer to do. Okay. So the signage, the direction. Okay. That's why when you go to the golf course, okay, there's no not many personnel involved. Okay. So when you go, you can know which keyboard you want to work. how long the course is. For example, keyboard number one or keyboard number two, keyboard number three, how many far. If you go to golf course, okay, you will see the information on your keyboard. For example, first keyboard par 3 means if you want to get par, you need to shot 3 times on it. Okay, maybe one time if you have the recovery coverage or you have the idea how to get goal in one. For example, just one shot and quickly go to the goal. Okay. So the information provided on the keyboard, and we have very different type of shot. The keyboard itself also indicate the color, uh, where should it, where it started. Alright? Okay, so that one when we talk about only customer info. And however, if you doing remotely, okay, uh, for example, customer did not visit the site physically, okay, for example, lawyer, okay, lawyer, lawyer office, okay, you don't frequently come, but the office could be something line or usually designed accordingly. Okay? And how about the usually interpersonal services, which is both people involved in them. Okay? For example, here the most challenging part because you involve together with them, the provider and also the customer. Okay? You must have the good social interaction, okay, and should be facilitated together with the physical supporting facility. Okay, for example, you go to internet center, okay, internet provider center, free center, okay, the arrangement of chairs and the counter top and also any information. And same is go to bank facility. Is bank usually will provide so many information on the wall to make sure you have confidence. Okay, make sure. Okay, even though we already have the somehow start situation into this regulatory issue. All right. Okay, this is what designed by actually by Bitner. Okay, so okay, Bitner designed uh, this diagram to show the important part when you want to design a service. Okay, so the framework Bitner state that there are three things that the provider should take for it into something that big consideration for us. First, frequency the ASEAN, the space, and also the time, symbol on also aspect. The three things here, Bitner says that very important in your life. Okay, so this mention here because I'm reading. Looking something in one of my yes one of my studies uh, maybe 7 years ago. Sorry, 11 years ago. 11 years ago. Okay, so Vietnam and this network, okay, the value as all those things, when we look at holistically, we call it as a holistic. What happened? What happened in the process actually involving conflict, the emotional and psychological, psychological factors. Okay, conflict factors, emotional and psychological. And the role not only played by one party, the role not played by one party, actually it is by both. Uh, because if I'm not mistaken in my life, but share it, I would like to share with you. I just only talk about the sponsors. Okay, it's also very important and very significant that the outlet design and the on the envelope, the customer part. Yeah, customer part. Yeah, sorry, I just talk about the customer. In one of the trust fund service center. Uh, what do you want to talk about our system? And we have some good results to show that customer should have something good during their experience. Okay, because it might attract and also it gives the or enhance the or improve the confidence level. Because when people want to invest something, they need something motivated, have courage to push them and convince them that what they have invested very worthy and also will. Alright. Okay, this is a framework that adopted from the uh, marriages, marriages. Okay, it was published long time ago, 1992, but still used in our study when we start on. Okay, if we go in detail one by one, okay, if we go in detail one by one, the ambient signal said that the environment, the temperature, lighting, noise, it's very distracting when we walk into a restaurant that has no roof lighting. Yes, if you go to a restaurant that offer you fine dining, it should be something that's very sorry, more on price. If you go to somewhere uh, for comfort food and daily consume, I think you can have to invest much more on. I think, but not forget the we call it as the comfortness of your car. Okay, if you have something broken, please see all that. Yeah, you might think that it's not worth it to replace something broken, but actually it gives impression to your customer. Okay. And also, okay, and also the order in a restaurant, for example, I usually find that very close to us. If you walk into a restaurant that's quite smelly, unpleasant smell spread around the restaurant, would you like to come? I believe you do. Yeah, I believe you don't have the appetite to walk. Okay, that shows how important the ambient condition. Okay, the temperature. Okay, if you walk to one of the fast food restaurants, do you have the expectation that that restaurant will have air conditioning? Uh, we perceive that hospital response should be cool enough and very pleasant and very comfortable to see. Right now, in Malaysia, we have already announced that people can go cross an order of sleep. Yeah, more people will come to the restaurant and more people will die. Than we have fully. Okay. Another thing is about the layout, the arrangement of the furniture. Okay. Somehow we don't have to offer everything uh, every time. Okay, everything every time. Okay, this is what. All right. The arrangement of furnishing, equipment, and the relationship among them create a visual and functional property. For example, menus, poster over cap register, self-serve machine, things between the counter and the table, with container located near exit. Okay, all those things play the important role. Yeah, we think that very simple, and we should figure out that also can affect how our customer is seeing our brand. It's very important thing that we must know. Okay, fine. Uh, Item in the physical environment that serve as specific or institutional that communicate a acceptable norm of behavior. No small feedback. Small people that have such that attitude don't bother all the time. Yeah, really, yeah, happen. Okay, all right. Okay, the facility design consideration. Okay, sometimes you need to consider two things before you start the list of. First thing that should be considered is nature and objective of service organization. Why is that? The nature of the core service should dictate the parameter of its design. Okay. For example, a fire station must have a structure that's large enough to house their vehicles. Right? We cannot design fire station with small garage. We cannot accommodate very huge fire truck. Okay, and also the physician office come in many shape and size, but also must be center of operation some degree of privacy. Okay, we when we design this center, right? You must have to contain. You must have very more private area to have the customer uh, share and also get something that they encounter from uh, when they attend our. Okay, first that one. Another one we call it as land availability and space requirement. Okay, land availability. Okay, so the land that is available for facility often come with many constraints. For example, the cost, the zoning requirement, okay, and actual errors. And for example, right now, what McDonald's have already showed to us, okay, many of their outlet design, put it on that they would like people to have very huge piece of land, okay, because they want to ultimately drive to facility the parking area, which facilitates the customers to walk and dine in and there, and also give the space for those who prefer to go through and get their food to them. Okay. So another thing, the flexibility. Okay. So the successful service should be have some flexibility. Okay, and also can adapt to the changes and changes in somewhat quantity and also nature of human. What happened in today's world is people prefer to have food not from the dining experience but from the sorry delivery experience. Okay, so the fast food restaurant should be that with what happened in today's market, and they must and you can see that the recipe also change according to the situation. Alright. Okay. The flexibility also might be called as a designing for the future. Okay. So there are things that should be addressed during the design phase. Okay. How can this flexibility be designed and allow for later extension? Okay. So if you have future plan in your service offering, you should come together with the initial plan. That's why that how you save a lot of money and also make sure your investment uh, keep good. Okay, and the fourth thing I call it in considering the facility design is the security. Okay, anyone who has flown on a commercial airliner, for example, since the terrorist attack against the United States on September 11, because this book was written on 2019, have observed modification in airport, for example, in security or preventive measures. Okay, so if you go to an airport, you must go through security doors or security barriers to make sure you are safe, can safely and allowed to use the security and board the flight. Okay, all right. So come to something that more complex, but it's more sure and also give something good for the follow. Okay, the SSC factors. Okay, all right. There are some examples here. Okay, we go to page 136. Okay, the example here. First, we go to an scale instruction store, such as not from this is what we have in the state. Okay, as we enter the women fine dresses department, we are aware of the trafficking between policies. The enforced between rack, the lack of crowding of dresses on the rack, the supplementary lighting, and most certainly very well furnished solutions, such as in the you can have, for example, in Malaysia, we have Harian and also compared to the Ion and also just mention different layout, right? Different layout, different arrangement, and different personnel appearance. The appearance of the personnel is that also we go for one. Okay, we go something that more fine and also more we call it as not about price, it's about the privilege, it's about the status, the design, the design of overall facility also change. Okay, so we call it as that. Another thing that we call it as the community and environment. Okay, the greatest important where it affects the community and its environment. So will the plan just allow, for example, allow enough space for parking, or will never find it impossible to enter or exit the property during the church. For example, we have mosques here in Malaysia. We have mosques. So in designing the mosque right now, how we control, also how we complete the neighborhood. make sure they are very pleasant and very comfortable with the movement of the light. Okay, yeah, sometimes we always say that should be something more probable, but somehow when we're dealing with people, we need to think about that. Okay, all right. This is what consideration should be looked at. Okay, next thing we talk about the process analysis. Okay, the type of processes we have five here. Okay, the project, process, job shop, effect, flow, and also the continue. For example, service, example of service, on project, for example, the consulting, okay, one of a kind engagement. Okay. The challenge is come from starting and okay. So you can have uh, everything in your book. Okay, and what the most important part here, we need to have good flow. Okay, this is a twin lane flow chart. For example, a twin lane flow chart. Okay, the flow charting. If you draw diagram or if you draw if you want to have good process, you need to have good chart. Okay, good charting. Um, so you need to have to identify two things before you start draw draw the line from one process to another process. Okay, you need to identify what the bottleneck operation and determine the capacity. So very crucial, and people who involved in speed measurement must have the skill. Okay, what the fundamental skill? To identify bottleneck operation, to draw the diagram, and also to know what on what capacity that would work smoothly. Okay, if you can draw, if you cannot draw, it will show you that you are not confident. All you will have the understanding in designing your process. Okay, so table figure 5.3. Okay, 5.3 is about the swim lane flowchart here. The swim lane flowchart example from the graduate school admission. Okay, from the applicant side to the admission to the secretary until the graduate. Okay, this is an example we can have. Okay, all right. 5.3, if you go to the book, okay, we have legend there. The symbol will show different functions. The terminator, the operation, the decision, and usually shared widely on another type of program. Say for example, the diamond shape. We show about the decision and weight and flow. Okay, the arrow show the flow. Okay, the terminator, the increased size represents the start or stop in a process. So where is that? You can see that where is that? The from application point. Okay, when you design the service, you have already proposed and now your initial idea last week. Okay, you should have the start and stop of your service point. Okay, then we know where we go and where. Okay, the application form, for example here, go to the admission class, okay, take GRE, that's not what GRE is about, but it's about related to the graduate, graduate thing. Same goes to your study as well. When you apply on website, the process will go one by one until you yeah, full it. Okay, so this is what we call it as a twin link website. We design on the left side, the far right, the left side, who involved, who involved in the process. Okay, there are my can look here is six parties involved in the process from the applicant until the beneficiary. Another side is a process flow diagram. Okay, another situation is about mortgage rate. Also use same symbol. Okay, except mortgage application, you must wait. Why? Because there are some survey, process survey, okay, credit report, 40 something, 90. Very important thing that when we involve in three, actually involve in time. Okay, people will compare how long it will take when you experience a okay, the more of the time consumed, the more preferable and also it depends. Actually, it depends. If something, for example, needs to have expertise involved, more time involved, people will even and also expect that good result. With more detail and more fine tuned result. Okay, so this is what we call it as a process flow diagram. First one is swim lane diagram. This is process flow. Another thing might also familiar to you is Gantt. Okay, Gantt always been in our study talk about Gantt. From the previous process, the mortgage service, this is Gantt. Gantt always talk about time consumed. Okay, uh, experienced by the and also uh, give you very constraint for the provider to perform the okay the process terminology. Okay, so the terminology you should know about this. First one is the cycle time, uh, the average time between completion of successive unit. The bottleneck, okay, I mean here it's in here the limitation or sorry, up to what time or up to what how many minutes show that your process can or capable to perform. Okay, not that bottleneck will come up. Bottleneck was the mean, but by bottleneck there's a jam. Okay, got too many process to perform. Okay, not have ample actually employee or capacity of that. So come to the third one, capacity. It's a measure of output per unit time when fully busy. Okay, for example, you want to have a restaurant. How many minutes taken for a waiter to take an order on one table, and also how many minutes taken for that waiter to take another order from another table. That's why I'm always advise you person if you have a restaurant, you should consider how many person you want to employ as a waiter in your restaurant. Not only one, you have a good idea how many seconds that you know how many seconds you want to so you must consider all of that because we don't want to waste our time or also punish our okay. The fourth thing is capacity utilization. how much actual output is achieved is due to process capacity when it's fully, and throughput time is time to complete a process from time of arrival until the time of exit. Okay, another thing, batch order flow time. Okay, the time it takes to go through the system from beginning to the end without any time in queue. Okay, total direct labor content is the sum of all the operation time. Uh, that means start time consumed in performing the okay, how many time taken to perform one process and go to another how many time. Okay. Direct labor utilization is a measure of the percentage of time that workers actually contribute value. Mean here, work, how many minutes that your workers take in order to perform, okay, to a fully busy service model. Okay, so sometimes you might see that people underutilize a worker, okay, and also overutilize. Okay, later renewal process time. This is an example. Okay, for activity number one until activity number six for the level of the customer or the client. Okay, review the application of for correctness process, check for violation. This example of license renewal. Okay, on the item for the application issues and related. Okay, example. Actually, when you send any kind of service, they have the they have the time and also they have the fuel time. If you go to the fast food chain restaurant, by the time you walk in, greet you, okay, good morning, you want to take away or you want to dine in. So all the process started and also every single taken into consideration. And they have the constraint to entertain you within provided time. Because if you only consume, for example, 30 minutes to make the what happened people behind you. Okay, that's an example. Okay, present and proposed process to diagram. Okay, so you can have the sorry, the idea down there, the activity number. Activity number one from in, okay, how capacity per hour and cycle time in seconds. Okay, how many minutes, how many seconds, okay, maximum uh, in hour, can have how many per second. Okay, we will talk in detail for this one. Okay, can have identify the bottleneck. Okay, I will show you the example in another video. Okay, alright, the engineer driver license. Okay, alright. Daily flow of visitor between attraction and outlet. Okay. For example, attraction of killer whale, lion, dolphin, water skin, aquarium, desert. Can look uh, there. Okay. Okay. The Asian World Side Planning using operation system. Okay. We will do some exercise on this. Okay, the final side plan. Do we how they design uh, the past and also where it should be located actually come from time consumed by every citizen. Okay? Alright, this is another example of flow diagram for class logic. Okay. Alright. So topic for discussion, compare the attention of SAT in waiting room that you have visited. How did the different environment affect your mood? Okay. This discussion give an example of Servicescape that support the service concept and another that strike. Sometimes you walk in, oh, why is it here? Uh, what it's all about? And is this what we will have after this? During the process, explain the success or failure in terms of service connection. And you might have experienced a lot since you woke up in the morning until you sleep at night. Uh, and we usually got hotel room also might have experienced a lot of anything that relate to the environment. Okay, select a service and discuss how design and layout of it meet the five factor of nature and objective organization. For example, 5.3. The option was simple, make an agreement for not requesting popular section next to each other. Right? Okay. Look into that. Okay. Aircraft for example. Okay. Uh, Maybe another example. Have measurement organization. Okay. Alright. The example of course group. What else? This is what? Grocery store. Normal grocery store. This is possible. Compare. Okay. Alright. Some idea you might have to look into. This is flow and that pushing people to walk or to go. This is what make people mingle, spending more time. Okay, you can compare both of the diagrams. I think that one also relevant here. Okay. Oh, no. Can look into the yeah. You have in your book on page 140. Okay. This is the one how the supporting facility played their role in sorry, uh, giving good perception and also tangible life. Tangible life there. Because the main characteristic of the tangible, how you make it tangible and give good impression to your customer. It's very, very crucial job and how many times they taken during the process. So very true because the more time you spend, more emotion might be involved and also might affect the revenue. Okay, I think that's all in this chapter. Hopefully, you have some idea on designing your uh, facility and also design your product list for your service idea. Okay, so we will talk later in next chapter. Chapter hopefully you can follow me in the next. Thank you very much. And feel sorry if anything that sit here not very pleasant and also uncomfortable my explanation. Hopefully, we can have more discussion later, comment down there, and also personally, right? transaction. Maybe you can have session in WhatsApp. Okay. See you later. Inshallah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye. See you again.